Right now we have a bonus segment with film critic Herb Stratford. For this one, we are talking with Herb about this year's Sundance Film Festival. We're sharing some of the favorites, starting with the narrative features category. Herb.
Yeah, this was another second year in a row for Sundance to be all virtual, so it actually gave us a chance to see a little more films than normal in person. Great narrative films, starting off with After Yang, and this is a brilliant film by the Japanese director Koganda, and stars Colin Farrell. It's sort of a science fiction thing that really is sort of more about humanity, and it's just a really beautiful film. Actually, it got snapped up right away by A24, and it's being released on March the 4th, so you won't have very long to wait to see this film. It's really one of my favorites. Next up is Cha-Cha Real Smooth, which is the sophomore film from Cooper Raiff, who did another film that I can't say the title on TV. It had a little bit of a risque title. But this is his second film, and it stars Dakota Johnson, and it's just a really sweet film. Actually, Apple bought the film, and they're holding on to it until later this year. But if there's anything to this, it's Apple bought Coda last year's Sundance Film Festival, so they definitely identify ones they love and ones that are critically going to be adored. So I can't wait for this one to come out as well later this year. Then we've got Brian and Charles, which is a really wonderful film about sort of a quirky inventor who creates a robot to keep him company, and sort of that is just a really it's a great story that just got bought by Focus Features. Not sure when that's going to come out. And then if we transition over to documentaries, another super strong year at Sundance for documentaries, starting with The Princess, which is a documentary about Princess Diana. Really interesting, completely composed of news footage, and so you sort of have to look at yourself and how you experienced and digested her whole story, which is, of course, very tragic. Also, there's a film called The Fire of Love, the National Geographic just bought, and it's about a married couple of volcano scientists. Fascinating story about them and their love of volcanoes, and they actually died exploring a volcano or documenting a volcano eruption. So really interesting. Some of the most remarkable footage you've ever seen that they captured on their cameras. So really wonderful. And then the last documentary is called Second Chance, and it's about the guy that invented the lightweight bulletproof vest. And it is a crazy, twisty, turny story. Very interesting character. Saved, thousands of lives with his invention, but he a very quirky character.
Those are all so different. Cannot wait to check those out. One that, if people like them, they'll want to check them out. Horror films, what stood out to you?
Yeah, there's two films that were very interesting. One is called Fresh, and it stars Sebastian Stan, who never really seen him do sort of a B-level horror movie before, but very well done. He's sort of this guy that seems almost too good to be true, and he is too good to be true. So it's a horror story about a guy that, a first date that goes really bad, and very, very dark and sort of creepy, make you think twice about dating online. And then also Resurrection, with Rebecca Hall, who had a breakout year last year directing the film Passing. She's back to acting now, and really interesting film about a guy that shows up in her life, played by Tim Roth, and she was sort of under his spell, and he shows up again. And this film has got one of the weirdest endings I think I've ever seen in a horror movie. Very, very creepy, very unsettling. So definitely some good stuff. That just got purchased, and that's going to be coming out later this year.
Just in time for Valentine's Day with those love horror movies, Herb. All right. Thank you so much for bringing all of that to us. We're going to check in with you next week to see what else is opening.